You've got the education, you've got the job, you've got family, you've got husband, you've got the children, you've got the house, you've got the car, and yet you're still feeling empty inside. Sometimes you need to look at themselves and going, well, was that really important to me? Did I really want that? What did I really want? Because even if I got that, would I be happy? Would I be satisfied?
When you strip away all of the roles, daughter, partner, mother, professional, who are we really left with?
You come back to you. Who are you if you don't have these titles that are attached to you? And that again comes back to your values.
Is there any advice that you would like to give to struggling women out there who really wants to achieve a lot of things in her life but still confined to domestic roles?
You need to believe in yourself.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Pages of Pandora, the show where we talk about stories and the authors behind them. Today we have with us Alison, the author of the book Having It All. This book is for women balancing work, family, and personal expectations who often feel overwhelmed. It reminds them that success doesn't have to mean burnout and encourages them to decide what having it all really means for themselves. Alison brings nearly 40 years of experience into book. She has worked in management, operation, and consulting and has deep expertise in leadership and project management and mindset. Drawing from both her career and life experience, she wrote Having It All to help women identify their values, set priorities, and build a life that feels fulfilling. Welcome to the podcast, Alison.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Reba.
Would you like to add anything to this?
Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of my book, just so you can see the cover. Yes, I think basically what prompted me was that at times, I felt burnt out and really exhausted, and I'd had 40 years working experience and I've got families and careers, and sometimes, you're looking after parents, and you've got other things you want to do in life as well. And I've got two daughters that are 30 years old, and they've got successful careers, and they're going, I just don't know how you can do, for children in on top of all what we're doing. And I don't think it's just about having children. I think it's really encouraging women to have a look at what are their values in life, what is it that they want, and take the vision for their particular life. Because so often, I think, we kind of programmed up to about the age of 7 by our parents, our environment, whoever looks after us during the day. And then as we get into our teens, it's social media, and it's our friends and our friends' friends, and they kind of set the tone of, what's cool, what's in, what's success, what's not. And I think often people are going along with whatever everybody else thinks is cool, what they should do or what they want. And at the end of the day, sometimes they've achieved it all, but they feel absolutely empty inside because they've not actually looked at what it is that they want for themselves and what their vision is for their life. And they sometimes just magically do it, especially when they get to a stage where, the middle age now, there's so many important to me. This is not, because your values will kind of say what your yeses and nos are in life and what you're going to prioritize and what you're going to put in the back burner or delegate or stop or not do. So you're not running around just pleasing everybody else, but you're actually achieving what you want to achieve in your life. And that's the purpose of this book.
I think many women will resonate with this.
Great.
So my very first question is, you have achieved so much, yet I'm curious, did you ever have moments where despite everything going well, you still feel like you were failing at something? Where did that feeling come from for you?
I think sometimes people may feel that they're failing at times, and it's probably because they're measuring themselves not against what they want in life, but with the people around them, and they might be looking at other people and saying they've done so well in their career, they've done this, done that, but they sometimes need to look at themselves and going, well, was that really important to me? Did I really want that? What did I really want? Because even if I got that, would I be happy? Would I be satisfied? And I think it's really coming back to awareness and knowing yourself. And don't compare yourself against everybody else. Don't let social media dictate to you what is in and what is not, what you should be achieving. or your family or friends even. It's really getting to know yourself and determine what your values are. And that should be your guiding compass in life.
Did you ever struggle with loving your family deeply while still wanting more for yourself? How did you navigate that inner conflict with drowning in guilt?
For me, I'm not saying this is everybody's values. For me, it was always family first, and particularly having children. And we immigrated to a country when I was in my 40s, and it was to give my children a better future. I'm living in Australia, which is like a wonderful country. And it did mean some sacrifices, financial, career-wise, all sorts of things in terms of leaving the country. But I thought it was justified at the end of the day because I thought my number one priority is to give my children a great future. So because of my values and because of my priorities, I was willing to do that. And there's times you do have to choose something that's got to go on the back burner in life. And in that case, it was my career. But, I've had many job opportunities since.
Thank you for sharing that. Saying no is hard for so many women. Was that true for you as well? Can you recall a time when saying yes came at a personal cost for you?
Uh, I think sometimes in life, when you have relationships or family, there are personal costs. Um, Sometimes somebody's got to give way for the other, whether it's being in a relationship, and you want to give your partner a chance to move. Maybe you have to move as well. Sometimes for your children, if you've got a sick child, you need to stand back and give your child the priority at that particular point in time. A lot of times, you can make your career your complete focus. So I think it depends on your priorities and what they are at that point in time in life. And as you go through the various decades of your life, your priorities are going to change. So I think you need to accept that it's not cast in stone. Your values change as you grow and go through different eras in your life.
When you strip away all of the roles daughter, partner, mother, professional who are we really left with?
It's your values. You come back to you. Who are you if you don't have these titles that are attached to you? And that again comes back to your values. What inspires you, what motivates you, what do you love to create, what do you love to do. Um, it's not just the titles that make you, it's the inside of you, what makes you tick, what makes you think, what you aspire to in the longer term. I think is what you are at the end of the day.
You have explained very beautifully. Do you think the most radical thing a woman can do today is to define success on her own terms?
If it's radical, I think it's what you should do. I think so often women are, goaded into a particular style and path, and they don't always have the choices. I think in many years combined, women could actually decide what it is that I want to do, what it is that I'd like to do, and what drives me, what motivates me, how are these going to fulfill my aspirations and values, and decide their life from there. Because maybe you want to be a movie star and spend your life traveling the world. Maybe you don't want to have a family one day. You shouldn't have to feel obliged to do that. Maybe you want to be a tennis professional, and that also probably involves a lot of travel. So you've got to decide what it is that you want in life. We're not all cookie cutters and don't always aspire to the same things. And sometimes by spending a lot of time trying to keep other people happy, we end up getting very tired and very burnt out. So it really comes down to, I would say, know thyself.
I can relate to that so much. What would you say to women who feel like they are doing everything right, yet still feels an emptiness they can't explain?
That is because they're probably measuring themselves by external criteria. So if you've got all of the ticks that you think your society wants, you've got the education, you've got the job, you've got family, you've got husband, you've got the children, you've got the house, you've got the car, and yet you're still feeling empty inside.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
because you haven't actually addressed what it is that you want. You're keeping everyone else happy. You Instagram perfect. You look fantastic on Instagram or one of those other reels, but you haven't actually addressed one of those things that you would like and what would fulfill you. Maybe, you don't want that demanding career in a corporate environment. Maybe you actually want to run a pottery studio or a daycare center for small children. So it's really kind of getting to what makes you and what makes you tick and what makes you satisfaction, and not looking to external criteria to decide that for you.
Talk about unfair expectations at home. Did it ever frustrate you to see men praised for helping while women were expected to own everything? How did that shape your thinking?
Definitely, I think when I was growing up, certainly it all kind of fell on my mother, and she still had to work at the same time. I'd say in a lot more egalitarian relationship where we certainly share the chores around the house. That's not a problem for me growing up. But I think additionally, and even in modern society, it generally falls on the woman. The responsibility of the children and the home falls on the woman. If something doesn't get done, it usually, becomes her problem. And if a partner is involved, often they just see that's helping out instead of just coming to the table as an equal partner and just filling in when they can see help as needed, and stepping up to the plate instead of just, doing a favor every now and then. So that is where I think women are still kind of the invisible force, holding everything together at home, making sure everything's organized. And some, you know, do have the situation where it's equal partnership and everybody chips in. And I think women also need to take responsibility for that. They need to be the project manager and delegate to other people and make sure that other members of the family do their bit and call on friends to help them, or book club to, for someone to help babysit in particular now if they really can't. I think it's also up to women to, set the tone and say, this is what I need. I need time out to go and do something, or I've just got too much on my plate. I need help. Is to delegate. You find a service, maybe somebody can be cooking for you, or grocery deliveries, or you're ironing, or you're washing. It's up to you to actually manage the whole process so that you don't get completely exhausted and overwhelmed. And there are ways of doing it. You've obviously looked to your resources and what's available to you. But I think women need to step up and take ownership and say, it doesn't all fall on me. I need to engage other people as well.
That's a very practical advice you give. Talking about the writing of your book. While writing this book, what uncomfortable truths, especially around feminism and expectations, did you have to confront personally?
And I think I've always been a bit of a feminist. I think if I found anything uncomfortable, I think I was really talking from myself, really, in terms of, this is a message I would give to my daughters and to anyone who's a daughter, I suppose we're all daughters in some ways, so that otherwise we wouldn't be here. So I think it was a message coming from within, from my observations. And I think it's just important that everybody knows about their values, their vision, how to set goals, how to project manage those in a way to achieve what you want in life. And it's some basic lessons that I think you can take from management in a corporate environment right through to your home. Those are the things that you need to kind of look at to have that fulfilling life.
Why do you think women are often expected to endure silently instead of being encouraged to evolve?
Be the way they're raised. I think so often the environment that you grow up in sets those expectations that particularly for women, they're supposed to put themselves second to everybody else and make sure everyone else's needs are met. I certainly saw that with my mother, and I was maybe just a bit too selfish, and I think it's part of the way they're raised and the expectations that's been put on them by society and the people around them. So I don't think women always have to feel that it is their responsibility to sacrifice themselves for everybody else.
When someone finishes the last page, what do you hope changes for her emotionally, mentally, or even in how she treats herself when she finished the last page of your book?
I hope that she feels a sense of personal transformation, that she can take ownership of her life and get what it is that she wants in life and take some of the strategies and approaches and tools and the mindset that have been discussed in the book and has also the faith and confidence and belief to do so, that you can transform your life to the life that you want to do using the strategies and tools that have been outlined in the book.
Is there any advice that you would like to give to struggling women out there who really wants to achieve a lot of things in her life but still confined to domestic roles?
You need to believe in yourself. Often determine your feelings, which determine your actions, and eventually the results that you get at the end of the day. But if you don't believe in yourself, you won't actually take those actions to help you get the results that you want, to achieve the results that you want to do at the end of the day.
Belief is very important. Yeah, exactly. Apart from this, would you like to share anything else to the readers?
I would recommend this book to anyone in their 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s to help get that balance in life. Recognizing that you've got responsibilities, some of them you want, some of them you don't, but to structure your life such that you can get what you want at the end of the day. And I think the mindset, the tools, the strategies that have been outlined in this book certainly can help you do that.
Yes, everyone do check out the book, Having It All. It's available on Amazon. You can also connect with the author on LinkedIn, Instagram. And thank you so much, Alison, for writing this book. And thank you so much for sharing your journey. So honestly, I think a lot of women listening this today will feel seen, maybe for the first time.
All right. Thank you very much, Ariba.